That's Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson sounding off on the House's newly passed reconciliation bill. Johnson predicting there are enough Senate allies to kill the bill, stop the process, as he said, until the president gets serious about spending reduction and reducing the deficit, said Ron Johnson. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, meanwhile, told Fox about the things that he cannot back in the mega bill. Watch.
You know, the bigger a bill, the more it includes, the more difficult it is to get everybody to agree to things. I supported the tax cuts in 2017. I support making them permanent, so I support that part of the bill. I support spending cuts. I think the cuts currently in the bill are wimpy and anemic, but I still would support the bill, even with wimpy and anemic cuts, if they weren't going to explode the debt. The problem is the math doesn't add up. They're going to explode the debt by, the House says $4 trillion. The Senate's actually been talking about exploding the debt $5 trillion.
Speaker of the House, meanwhile, Mike Johnson is urging the GOP senators not to make major changes to this bill. I'll be speaking with the Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson tomorrow morning right here, so join us for that interview to go through the big, beautiful bill. First up, joining me now is Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Meuser, a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. You've done your work. You in the House passing the bill by your deadline. But now you've got people like Rand Paul, Ron Johnson pushing back on the debt limit increase. You've got people like Susan Collins, Josh Hawley, Lisa Murkowski, and Shelley Mercapito and Jim Justice pushing back on Medicaid. And then you've got Senators Murkowski, Curtis, and Tom Tillis, Jerry Moran, complaining about the Inflation Reduction Act green energy credits. Your reaction? That's too many. You can only afford 3 no votes in the Senate.
Well, maybe we're right in the middle, and they should appreciate that. And I also feel, in all due respect, that they're being a little short-sighted and also missing the forest for the trees. Look, this is a crucial step, but that's all it is a step, a very significant step to strengthen our economy, to save $1.6 trillion, and get over the fear-mongering that has been created by the Democrats. Look, they're not appreciating that this is just the beginning. This is not the end. We can have more bills, and you know what? We're going to have more savings. Even just look at what the president's doing with pharmaceuticals, with prescription drugs. Maria, we could save as much as $200, $300 billion a year, $200 to $300 billion a year. Over 10 years, that's well over $1 trillion. That's maybe $2 trillion just in lowering prescription drug prices. So DOGE is going to continue. The execution of the president's America First plan is going to continue. This is a beginning. It's a big step, but it's only a beginning. And we've got to pass it. There's so much pro-growth in here. Taxes, energy, border, military. It's crucial that we get it done.
And growth is the key word there. But I think you make a really good point about the prescription drug cuts that the president is instituting, because you've even got Democrat support on that. Ro Khanna said he wants to pursue and codify into law what President Trump has done on the prescription drug prices. So that's huge that you're going to have Democrat support on that. But when talking about growth, I want to get your take. How much growth you expect from this big, beautiful bill? We had Kevin Hassett on last week, the chairman of the National Economic Council, who's talking about 4% plus growth in the second half of the year. Watch this.
Well, what's going to happen is there are going to be a lot of trade deals, and there's going to be clarity on the tax cuts, and then firms are going to lift off. But think about it. Even before that happened, we're getting really strong jobs numbers. First quarter capital equipment investment was north of 20%, one of the best quarters ever, because all of America knows that the golden age is coming, and we got to start building stuff before everybody else gets in front of us. And so I think that you're going to look at a second half of the year that's way, way north of 3%, probably north of 4%, to give us one of the better years we've ever had. Because even with the uncertainty that you talk about, that I've written widely about over the last 25 years, even with that uncertainty, we've got strong jobs numbers and strong investment. And so once the uncertainty is lowered, then a liftoff from there is really going to be something to see.
So, Congressman, what do you think, before I get into the steel story, what's your expectation in terms of growth as a result of this? Because that's also going to help pay for it.
Sure. I think Hastert is a conservative guy, and he's laying things out in real terms. See, this bill is a very static model. CBO does very static models. No growth included, no development and growth from the tax reductions. It's all just static, dollars and cents. We could grow well beyond 3%. The savings could be more. Without the bill, clearly we won't receive such growth opportunities. So,
Yeah.
the type of U.S. manufacturing that will increase, and some lower interest rates from what we need from the Fed in order to continue this pro-growth outlook for American manufacturing.
Meanwhile, a lot of jobs expected from the U.S. Steel Nippon deal. President Trump clearing the way for U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel's merger. The president says that U.S. Steel will remain in America while keeping its headquarters in Pittsburgh. Nippon also planning to invest $14 billion into U.S. Steel's operations, including $4 billion for a new steel mill. Officials expecting 70,000 jobs to come out of this merger, Congressman. I know you celebrated President Trump's landmark action to keep U.S. Steel in America. Tell us more about this and your expectations once this is done.
Well, I'll be happy to. And the good news is the president's whole team, from Mickey Bowman to Paul Atkins to Travis Hill, it's a whole different outlook on what growth is, on reforming regulations, and on helping companies grow as opposed and creating investment in the United States. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it coming in from all over the world. Thankfully, the president himself personally reviewed this U.S. Steel Nippon deal, which is a $25 billion investment, 14 to 17 billion of it coming to Pennsylvania, 14 billion in the next couple of years. And it's the largest single investment ever in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's going to completely revitalize U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel is going to be going from being number 25 to number 3. We're going to save all kinds of union jobs. We've had the local union steel workers in my office several times. We've had folks, the mayors throughout Western Pennsylvania. Everybody wanted this to happen. And I'll tell you what, the Biden administration tried to kill it. They did everything they could to kill it. President Trump saved it. Without him, it would have been dead. So we are very, very thankful to the president for reviewing this closely, and bringing his business acumen to seeing a great investment for Pennsylvania and for Americans, U.S. steel, but American-made steel.
That is wonderful. I know Michelle Bowman is being celebrated as the Federal Reserve's new vice chairman for supervision, Congressman, and that's going to be very important for the president's deregulation strategy.
So true, Maria. I mean, the last regime, if you will, they were about ideology and leaving lines blurry. So there was a lot of uncertainty within the banking community. And then you had people like Michael Barr, Mickey Bowman's predecessor, calling for Basel III endgame, all kinds of new reserve requirements, CFPB overreach. Now we got an outlook that's about pro-growth, about common sense, about let's have our lanes, everyone. Let's know what they are. And so business and the economy and America knows what direction it's going in. And again, President Trump's plan is leading it.
Good stuff. Congressman, good to see you this morning. Thank you, sir. Dan Meuser.
Great to be with you, Maria.
In Pennsylvania. We'll see you soon.